Hey, how many checks with a woodchuck? What?
We're actually live on air. You know that, right?
What?
Yeah.
I'm about to answer you and everything. Right. If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Let's do it right then.
Perfect.
Lord Jesus. Welcome back to Show 83, man. As y'all can hear, it's the craziest show in the world. L Bug, Booby Boo Wop, J Marie, Juan Hondo.
In the building.
And we are sitting here with the man. I ain't doing all that extra stuff.
The legend.
Lamir T. Dennis.
For real, hello on the planet.
I did that the first time you was on here. I gave you that the first time you was on here. The man, the myth, the legend, and all that stuff.
Yeah, now I feel a little bit disappointed now. It's getting.
Oh, you thought it was going?
It's going down now. It's supposed to go up.
You don't kill the hype. You bring the
hype.
Exactly.
Teach this man something.
I don't know all that. The myth, the legend, the legendary.
Hold on.
Get a bell one time for legendary.
Ooh, all right.
There you go.
He don't get all of that because Alabama getting beat up like that right now.
You trying to discourage me? I can't be discouraged right now.
He got on that Stolex and he feeling himself, so he feel like he's the
not the Stolex.
legendary.
Ooh.
It ain't stolen. It's got a face on it, so it's got. It don't have. It can't be a Stolex.
It looks stolen.
He said your face is on.
Damn,
it.
you a hater.
He said, damn, you a hater.
So how you been, sir?
I've been good, man.
I see you've been traveling a lot lately.
Yeah, I've been busy, but thanks for having me back. Appreciate it. So we got a blood transfusion up in here. We got some newness.
Yeah.
Yeah, blood transfusion, because we had some oldness last time. Now we got some newness up in here. All right, to help you out.
We bringing spice to their life.
There you go, see, I like this man. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that.
We're making them younger.
That's right. Tell him again. He
You
wasn't
gotta have the
listening.
youth.
Yeah.
The youth. He's just old.
So what have you been up to, Lamb, lately?
I've been busy, man. This morning we were out doing some audio. I'm working on the docu-series for The Story of My Life. Before that, as you mentioned, I've been out in Tennessee. We actually just opened up in Tennessee. So we're down in Chattanooga now. So beside Chattanooga, we're still running here in Columbus and also in Pittsburgh as well. So been all over the place, besides 3 kids and a wife.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, you only got 3? I thought y'all was having another one.
For real?
I did.
No, you didn't, man.
I really did.
Who told you that?
I just thought y'all was.
Okay. No. How about now?
He said, stop thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't he trying to put another bill on the...
Right, I'll leave that to you, and then I'll just come out and look at it.
I'm done.
See? Me too.
He trying to put more kids on you, man.
Right.
Well, no. So you when did you open up in Pittsburgh? 'Cause I seen that after the last time you was on here, you was down there. It was probably about a month or so after you was on here. You was down there.
Yeah, it's been about a year now. We've been rocking out there. So guys and girls are doing a wonderful job out there. As a matter of fact, last time I was out there, see, I had this plan. I'm going to go to Pittsburgh. We're going to celebrate 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I'm going to show them how it's done. I'm going to get on the camera, bring my daughter with me. I got it all planned out. So I get out there and I'm like, okay, I'll just work the table. Y'all got the camera. They're like, no, we got the table. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Right. I grab the camera. I get no, we got the camera. I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to do?
Be the boss.
And I'm just sitting there like, okay. Then I'm trying to mess with the kids, and then I'm messing too much. So I'm like in the way. I'm like, hold on now, this is my stuff. I'm like the outsider of my own stuff. So I said, let me just sit back and take some videos. But it's just a testament to how wonderful those guys are doing. That they didn't need me, man. I drove all the way out to Pittsburgh and went and got a permani sandwich and came on home, I guess. So
hey, listen, that is actually a dope thing right there, to where you can just sit back and watch the fruit of your
labor.
Thank you.
That's the term. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The fruit of your labor actually work out the way that it has, to where you can just not do anything. Just like, all right, well, I ain't even got to delegate because y'all got it all taken care of.
It took a while to get there, but yeah, it's a good feeling.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
That is absolutely dope.
So are you moving up from sports and stuff now, doing more than just sporting events?
Well, we've always done that, but that's my main thing. I've got a team of photographers, and generally everyone specializes in something different. So we've got wedding photographers, portraits, pets, things of that nature, but my thing is sports. Because I've been in the city, born and raised here, so I've probably shot for every little league sports team. At some point in time, they all just change names and change coaches. Yeah. So I'm so plugged in that a lot of times I don't even have to seek folks out. They're just like, hey, you still taking pictures? We need pictures like in 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, for real?
On my way.
Your whole life.
Yeah, they do it.
You still ended up a Bama fan. How did that happen?
You say that like that's a bad thing. Come on now.
I don't mess with. I love the Bamas. I'm a Buckeye, but They great too.
Shut up.
See, I like this man.
Mute him, J. Marie. Mute him.
Yeah, he
No,
just
I like the way he
Seminole
going.
fan.
I ain't no
He
Florida
he
Seminole
needs to be elevated up his status here. It's his name in the title. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I like him.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
as
he
far
does.
as Bama's concerned, most of my family in the United States is from Alabama. My mother is actually the only one of her sisters that was born here. My grandmas, my aunts, all of them, they was all born in Alabama. So coming here was my mom, and then everybody after that, but they are originally from Alabama. So
Dope, man.
That is real dope.
That's dope. So you say you do all kinds of videography. You got a
Photography.
Photography. Sorry, you got a team for sports. Got a team for weddings. Do you guys do videography at all?
we do, and that was part of, like I was mentioning earlier, that's what we were doing earlier. So I was out with my videographer, as far as this documentary that we're working on, the story of my life, is called Tamar. We were just getting some audio in. So generally we'll do interviews, we'll interview different people, and actually we got an interview coming up. I think I may have hinted to it last time I was here, but we're getting ready to go to the prison, and I'm going to see my dad.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to interview him, and as you know, and I don't think y'all know, most people don't know, but my dad killed my mom when I was 12.
Wow.
And I testified against him in court. So I'm actually going to go to the prison, and I'm going to interview him. And I'm just going to ask him some questions. At the same time, I'm going to let him tell his story.
Right.
You know, everybody's got their side of the story, and we all write in our own mind, you know, whatever we do.
Wow, wow.
So I'm going to give him an opportunity to share his story, and at the same time, give some of my family members, my kids who have never seen him and probably will never see him, get a chance to say, hey, this is my dad. Yeah, you made a bad decision, a few along the way, but it's still my dad at the end of the day.
So have you ever had a conversation about that? Or
I
this
have.
will be your first conversation?
No, this will be my second. I actually went maybe 7-8 years ago to go see him, and that was the first time since I testified against him in court. So the last time he saw me, I was 12, and I went. My brother went, and I think I was pretty humble. You know, I sat and listened. I didn't interrupt. I didn't get, what you do? I wasn't on that. You know, I just really wanted to talk, and really there was still questions about me that nobody else could answer but him. Like, my name is Lamier, right? And I always thought that was French. You know, Lamier, I thought was light. And come to find out, it's not. It's Swahili.
Oh, wow.
Right, that's what I said. So, of course, I'm like, next thing is like, well, what's that mean? And who came up with that name? And he came up with the name. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Didn't know that. And what's it mean? And he said it means the chosen one.
Oh.
So I'm like, ooh, the chosen one. That's right. You know, right. And then my brother with me, and my younger brother, you know, is Rome. So he like, hold on. How he the chosen one and my name Jerome? So he's mad. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
So I have a question overall, because that has to be a difficult situation. But, you know, as you get older, you sometimes realize and understand that parents clearly go through their own situation,
Right.
too, while they're trying to raise you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a kids raising kids kind of thing.
Yeah, man.
Would you ever, like, forgive him and kind of build some type of bond there?
Well, that's just it, and that's part of the reason why I went. My main focus was I wanted to look him in the eye and tell him some things. Here's what I told him after listening to him. I said, the reason why I'm here is not to tell you that you won like Father of the Year, because clearly you haven't. But at the same time, I wanted to look you in your face, man to man, and let you know that I don't hate you. Now, here's the thing. I don't love you either, because I don't really know you. I don't really know what to think about you. But all I know is that I'm trying to make it to heaven. And I feel like I can't go to heaven, make it to heaven with hate in my heart and with this weight on my shoulder. So I just need to let you know I don't have any problem with you. I'm not thrilled with the decisions that you made in life. But like I said, I don't hate you. And I just wanted to look him in the face and tell him that. So I can kind of wash my hands of it, close the door, if you will, on that. And that's what I did.
I feel like that's a pretty dope idea, though, to just go back and retrace your path and give your dad forgiveness like that. That is real dope.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'd be himself.
And I'm sure too, and that's the thing. I didn't want to go. I mean, you talking to somebody in prison, so I ain't got to go be like, you in prison, you a criminal. I mean, that's known.
That's obvious.
Right.
Yeah, that's obvious. So, like I said, I just wanted to go and kind of share that love and spread that love, and at the same time see what comes about. From there, he said, hey, I want to see you, and I want to see my grandkids. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know about all that.
Pushing it now.
Yeah, give me a second now. This is the first time in like 8 years. Give me a second. I just had to start with me. And my children have asked. They want to go, and they would like to see him. But your children as a parent. So I'm like, I know my son in particular, he's real kind of, he'll get inward and kind of swell up like this, and afterwards I'll just say, "What's wrong?" And he'll just bust out. Ah! So I don't know if we all ready for that just yet. But yeah, it was a build-up. It wasn't like I just decided to wake up and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to see my dad." But I mean, it took some time, man. I took for 10, 15 years of my life probably, it was really just on hold because I was so bitter and so upset and was crying. And if anybody would have seen me in the street, it would have been bad news. Young ladies, I mean, it was just a shoo run through and I was going about my business. I mean, I had no respect for nobody, myself. I mean, it was bad.
So I know you said you have a wife.
Right.
How long you and your wife been together?
We've been married for 15 years, so we've been together about 17.
So how did
Has
she
it
deal
been
with
15?
Yeah, been that long, man.
I thought y'all have been married longer than like.
15 ain't long?
No, I'm just saying.
I didn't say
hold on,
15 months.
No, because me and Ash, we've been married for 14, so I figured y'all was longer. Y'all have been married longer than that.
It's just the grade, that's all.
It might be it. That might be it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was you asking me before he interrupted us?
Right.
Rude. Disrespectful.
So how was your wife able to deal with that?
That's a great question, and she was the one that helped me.
That's dope.
Because I didn't have a clue that I needed help. It was what it was, and it always been that way. So in my mind, I just think we'll never see him again. It's over. I just move on about my business. And not only did she help me to go down that road, but she said something to me that blew my mind. Because when things happened, I went to go stay with my auntie, who is my mother's middle sister. So when I went to stay with her, we never really got along. We bumped heads, and I couldn't understand her. I'm like, okay, you my mom's sister, not like no play sister. You her real sister. And I just didn't understand why we never got along. Until my wife said this. She said, part of the reason why you guys probably don't get along like you would like to is because every time she sees you, she sees your dad. So she sees the man that murdered her sister. And I'm like,
gotta be hard.
ooh. Right. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I'd probably be sick to my stomach every time I looked at me, too.
Wow.
But when she told me that, then I realized, okay, I got to look at it from her perspective. And that actually helped me to go back and make amends with my aunt. Like I said, I was in a bad space. And we had a family gathering. And I said, hey, I got an announcement to make. And my wife looking at me like, you do? Because I said, we got an announcement. We do? So first thing we think is what?
You're pregnant.
Exactly. Everybody think we're pregnant. She like, we do? So I said, I just wanted to let everybody in the family know, everybody here to know that I love my Aunt Brenda. And I said, I just wanted to thank you for everything you did for me. All the heartache I put you through, all the trouble, all the everything. I just want to thank you for stepping up to the plate. For not only, because she not only took on myself, but she took on my little cousin, who was one of my aunt's children. You took on all this stuff, and you didn't ask for all this. And I just wanted to thank you, and I had to get that off me. So that was kind of the season, getting stuff off me, because before you can pour anything into the cup, you got to pour some stuff out of it sometimes.
Right.
If the water been sitting around and it's warm, and you want the effective you want of the water, sometimes you got to dump out the old stuff and pour some new stuff in. So that's what I was able to do, and my wife helped me with that. So
That is dope.
That's really dope, man. And the reason why I like, I'm not gonna say I like this story, but it definitely kind of touches on how I grew up with kind of the same thing.
Okay.
With watching your moms pass away or something of that nature, and that's hard, man. It's really, because my pops died too, and I didn't get along with him at all.
Okay.
But before he passed away, I went out to New York, and my aunt was like, "You gonna go see your dad?" I'm like, "Oh, F that dude.
Right.
He's been here my whole life." But she's like, you're gonna wish you said something to him when he's not here no more.
Right.
So I took that step, and I was like, you know what? Let me just listen to her and go to see what's up with this old man. So, we built a rapport, and now that he's passed away, I'm happy. I can say, like, you know what? I did try to throw that water out, like you said, you know what I mean? To refill it up, because just because you was like that with me doesn't mean you're going to be like that with my kids.
Right.
And so on and so forth. And he was really nice to my daughter. Like, he loved her. You try to call her every week.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, well, you couldn't be a good dad to me, but at least you're trying through her. So that is dope, man. That's really inspiring. I wish a lot more people would take heed to what this man is saying right now.
Yeah.
And all you had to do is just open your arms. Like, you don't know nobody's side of the story or why they was feeling that way at the time that you guys was going through whatever tips is.
Right.
Listen to each other, and maybe you guys can heal from that.
Right.
That's dope, Lamar, for real.
And one of the worst things in life is to get to an age whether you mentally or physically, where you look back and wish you could have done something. Oh, I should have did this, and I could have did this, especially if you're realistic enough to see that you have the talent and you have the potential. Right. Like, I want to be an on-air personality. I really want to do it, and I got the personality and I got the mind, but then you get to an age where physically you can't no more, your back, your head, whatever, your hip, or you get to a place financially where you better get up and go do that 9 to 5 and get off that radio stuff. You better pay these bills. You know, I don't want to look back at anything and say I regret anything. Now, every decision not going to be the best. It's not going to be perfect, but I just don't want to look back and have any regrets when I know it's stuff that I can do while I'm able to do it.
Facts.
So,
Yeah, that's dope. Right?
So this docuseries that you're doing, have you got a release date or anything for it?
The intention is to, and here's something amazing too, is to start to release on March of 2020.
Okay.
And the reason why that's important is because Saturday, March 12, 1988 was the year my mother was killed. So she was 32 years old when she was killed, right? The March of 2020 will be 32 years since the time she was killed. So I figure it's just all kind of working together. So that's the plan. So everything we're pushing is to move towards that date. Now things change, but that's the plan is March of 2020.
Are you doing anything for it, like for the release?
Yes and no. We've got some things that we're working on, but when you start looking at so many different film festivals and so many different avenues, everyone's got different restrictions. Right. Some places say, well, you can't have shown it anywhere else. It's got to be with us for the first time. And other places will allow you to. So in the meantime, before I go too crazy, let's just get the project finished.
Right.
Let's just get it shaped up. Let's get it to where we want it. So not only will we have the finished product, but we can have a trailer for right now. I can have a trailer for when that one get old, we need a new one and another one. Let me have some bits and pieces so I can come in here and give y'all something to look at. Let me put all of that together before we start kind of burning bridges. They be like, oh, no, you're showing it. Can't show it here. So let's just focus on that first, and then we'll kind of move from there.
Crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's, man. That's dope.
Definitely. That's dope.
Yeah. Well, Lamir, thank you for stopping through. It's
You're
always
welcome.
fun.
Thanks
You
for
know,
having
definitely
me.
gonna,
Appreciate it.
You know, let me know when you're ready for the next one. When you're ready for the next one.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Definitely.
Thank
It's
you, guys.
always dope. It's always a good time when you come up here. You always with them. You know what I'm saying? Wait, work. I don't know. Do you want to tell anybody to sit the F down?
You got an STS
Who?
for somebody?
Anyone or anything
To sit down?
to sit down.
Sit the F down.
Oh, man. I'm going to let y'all say that part.
He ain't gonna curse. I'm gonna tell you that now.
STFU.
I'm going
Stand the
to,
F up.
not really, man. I just want everybody to do them. You know, just, however you do, whatever you want to do, just do it. Because at the end of the day, everybody going to offend everybody at some point in time. And everybody going to make somebody mad and all that stuff. So I don't, people get into politics. And the president, man, he a hustler, man. So he in office hustling. So how you mad at him for hustling?
Instead of a STFU or STFD, do you got any advice to give anybody that's trying to go in your path? Or
Yes. I would say there's so many different ways you can take that and so many different avenues. But before you focus on the craft as a whole, focus on yourself. Because before you have anything tangible to show anybody, to give to anybody, to present, to provide, whether it's stand-up comedian like you had in here earlier, whether it's a singer, before you have anything, you need to be whole yourself.
Exactly.
Because you'll get in some of these avenues where people want stuff from you and they start pulling at you and they pull apart your fabric of who you are. And if you was already in pieces, you're going to be a mess. That's why folks get millions in celebrity and all this stuff and be on their 5th, 6th wife and committing suicides because you wasn't whole as a beginning. And then you got into these industries and you got all these sharks and all these people at you and using you for your talent, and then you're just a mess. So yes, focus on your craft. Yes, take it serious. Yes, take it professional. Yes, do the research. Get the appropriate licensing and insurance and all of those different things. But don't stop focusing on you. What you need to do, how you need to be a better person, because you can have all the talent in the world, but if folks don't like you and your personality is bad, your talent don't always overcome that.
Right.
It's going to come out at some point in time. You know, if you get on the microphone and you don't know how to talk, then you might need to work on your pronunciation. Get in the mirror and take some Toastmaster classes, whatever. You know, focus on you. And as long as you focus on you, everything else will work itself out. But focus on you first.
Amen.
Definitely.
And when I get out of that, Lamar just dissed the mumble rappers.
Y'all should have had a beat on that. We would have been hot.
right there.
Oh my God. Well, thank you again,
Yeah,
Lamir,
you're
from
welcome.
Lamir T. Dennis Family Photo.
Appreciate it all. Thank you. Thank
Go
you.
ahead and let the people know where they can find you at, and then let them know what show you're rocking with.
Sure. Well, you can find me on IG at A New Family Tree. You can also find me on Facebook at Lamier T. Dennis. And you can find us on YouTube at Family Tree Holdings, LLC. And I'm sure you knew this already, but if you didn't know, there's only one show. And, of course, I'm rocking with, and that's Show 83.
Hey, y'all know what to do, man. Show 83. We'll be right back with the STDFDs of the day.